Good morning, everyone. I'm Judge Amy Carter. This is Courtroom 1, Session 1. Could I have the attorneys place their appearances on the record, please?
Coffee Kennedy Swanson on behalf of the Office of State Attorney.
Adam Shores, Office of Public Defender.
Thank you.
Lakeisha Halen, Office of the Public Defender.
Thank you. Good morning, ma'am. Tell me your name, please.
Mary Jamison,
Miss
M-A-R-Y, middle initial P for Paul, Jamieson. No ID, it's been stolen.
All right, thank you, Ms. Jamison.
$200 from my government
Okay.
debit card,
Ms. Jamison, thank
which
you.
was on my person.
I need you to stop talking for just a minute, please.
Yes,
I gotta tell
ma'am.
you why you're here, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So you were arrested for trespass on property after warning. I'm going to appoint
In
the
a
public.
toilet.
I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you.
Thank you.
Was there an offer for Ms. Jamison?
Yes, Your Honor, adjudication credit for time served, 5 days, and no return.
All right, so Ms.
Thank you.
Jamison, if you want to accept the offer and resolve your case today, you will be released and you can't return to the Lynx bus station.
Gracias. That's
You'd like to do that?
fine with me.
All
That's
right, ma'am, I need you to sign the plea
appropriate.
form, please.
Thank you, ma'am. God love you. Men and the ladies, mouses and his children are welcome in that I, whatever works this week. Whatever works, pays the fee, pays the judge,
Ms. Jamison, did you read the plea form before you signed it, ma'am?
It's not necessary, I agree.
Well, it is necessary though, so I need to make
It's
sure
hard
that
to
you
read
understand
with
what you
my
read.
eyes. Okay,
Just
what-
take a look at that for me.
I understand the following. The nature of the charges. They use a pen as an instrument, a pen, to put my initials next to things and not, don't hear. I understand the following. The nature of the charges, the difference between the pleas of guilty and guilty, the right to trial. We have the right to attorney, right to
And Jenny was 5 days. All right, Ms. Jamison, I saw you read the plea form. Do you have any questions about any of the rights on the form that you're giving up?
No,
Are you on probation?
no,
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
I'm
You're a U.S. citizen?
an immigrant and a US citizen with a current passport and a visa.
Okay,
Yeah, that does allow me to visit other countries,
I see. Okay.
but not
wait,
contract their diseases, hopefully.
Ms. Jamison, have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in
No,
court?
just medication for, a fill-in for a psych med and a green liquid that helps with diabetes, and
All right, so you're
brain
feeling good
level.
this morning?
I'm fine. I'm steadily
Good.
lucid and sane.
All right, great. So I will accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 5 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 5 days. You can't return
Okay,
to Lynx
right.
Bus Station. You've been
Okay.
trespassed from there, ma'am.
Okay,
You will have
thank
to
you.
pay court costs Those are due by September 10th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, ma'am.
Thank you,
All
ma'am.
right. All right.
God love you. As a Christian, I appreciate it. Miss Amy J. Carter.
All right. Good luck, Ms. Jamison. Good morning, sir. Your name?
James Adams.
Mr. Adams, you were here in 19 CF 12818. You were arrested for tampering with evidence, possession of a harmful new legend drug without a prescription, possession of marijuana over 20 grams, possession of marijuana less than 20 grams, and possession of drug paraphernalia. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. I'm going to release you on your own recognizance, sir. You need to make sure that you stay in contact with your lawyer and that you appear for your next court date. If you fail to appear, a warrant will be issued for your arrest.
Yes, ma'am.
All right? Thank you, sir. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Carl Pardue.
Sir, you're here in 19 CF 12836. You were arrested for possession of synthetic cannabinoids and possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is $500. Your bond on count 2 is $100. You also have 19 MM 5427, which is a violation of probation. It is alleged that you absconded from the court's jurisdiction by not complying with the instructions given to you on August 1st of 2019, and you failed to report to the intake probation within 24 hours of your release from the Orange County Jail. Your bond in that matter, sir, is set at none. On the violation of probation, Ms. Haling, do you want to enter a denial and we'll give him a VOP status date?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Do we have the list in here? Is it here? Okay, so this is, Judge 85, okay, so Division 85. So that's gonna be Division 85, the VOP status date is October 11th, that's at 9 AM. And that will be, in courtroom 4A. Thank you, sir. Good morning, your name?
Quadarius Stevens.
Mr. Stevens, this is 19 MM 7462. You were arrested for trespass on property after warning. There's probable cause. I'm appointing the public defender to represent you. Was there an offer for Mr. Stevens?
Yes, Your Honor, adjudication credit for time served.
All right. Mr. Stevens, did you want to resolve your case this morning?
No.
No? Okay, sir. Your bond is $500 and you cannot return to the library at 101 East Central Boulevard.
Okay.
All right, thank you, sir.
Oh.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Judge. My name is Calvin Soto. I'm an attorney, and I've just been hired to represent Mr. Marrero Bonilla.
Okay.
Judge, I had an opportunity to speak to Mr. Bonilla and inquire for the purposes of bond. I understand that bond is a little tricky here when there is a division judge already,
Yes,
but I would like just to put into the record some considerations.
sure.
And I would like to go ahead and have my client sworn in
Sworn?
so that he could give him testimony.
Sure, thank you.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Marrero, the first thing I want to just clarify and put on the record is the nature of your failure to appear back in 2011. It is clear from the record that you were referred to pretrial diversion and that you were involved in that program. Is that correct?
Yes.
how long were you involved, how long did you do the PTD program for?
I did it for, it was about a month and a half. It was about a month and a half, 2 months, and I did it in, yeah, about a month
Okay.
and a half.
And during that program, were you complying with the conditions and the things that they asked you to do?
Yes, sir.
All right. So at some point, what happened with your resident where you lived? Or
I had to get out of Orlando just because of the fact that everybody around here was just negative. I mean, I didn't have any positive friends. I didn't have any positive influence. I didn't have anything. So I went to Savannah to live with my father.
all right. So
Did you say Savannah?
Yes, ma'am.
Savannah, Georgia. And you've been living in Savannah since then.
Yes.
Did you continue? Was it your understanding from your attorney that you could continue participating in the pretrial diversion while you were over there?
Yes.
Okay. And did you complete?
I found a drug program out there that I could get into. I went over there. I did the classes. They made me be there for about 3 days a week, and from the 3 days a week, I had to be there 2 hours every week.
Okay. So you
And I had to see a psychologist because I was part of the stipulations. It was just like I had to see a psychologist.
and during this time, you were still in contact with your attorney up to a certain point.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And then I figured he would get back in contact with me when I had court. I never heard anything back from him after a while, so I figured the case was closed.
Okay. And you've been living in Savannah since then.
Yeah, I've been living in Savannah.
Okay. And your current status is that you have a girlfriend you live with,
Yes.
and your address in Savannah is 29 Montero Drive, Savannah, Georgia 31405.
Yep, I've been living there the last 3 years.
Okay. And you live there with your girlfriend. What is your profession, your employment?
I am a barber. I just bought a barber shop. The sale got finalized in September 1st.
Okay. And how much money do you expect to make per month from your business?
About 4,000 with me
Okay.
working.
Locally here in Central Florida, do you have any family connections here?
Yes, I have my mother, I have grandparents, and I have my little brother.
All right. And they live in Orlando, Florida.
Yes.
If you were to be released in bond, would you be able to stay with your parents, with your mother here in Florida?
I would, but I would definitely ask the judge if she saw fit for me to actually go back and at least check up on my business. I just purchased it. We just remodeled. At least check up on my kids. I have 2 kids that are there that I have not seen, and at least just check up on my life that I have built over these last couple of years over there.
And finally, this was a nonviolent offense, drug offense from 2011 when you were 18. Do you intend to make all of your court appearances and resolve this case?
Everything. I look forward to finishing with this. I look forward to being able to get a passport. I look forward to being able to travel with my family, and yeah, definitely.
All right. I have no further questions.
State any questions?
Mr. Bonilla, how much money can you afford in a bond?
Do you mean as far as like the 10% goes, or?
How much can you afford in bond?
I mean, I have a little bit of savings. I have a good amount.
Dollar amount?
I could probably afford up to about 2,000 as far as like the 10% goes.
I'm trying to look back, Your Honor, at the old case.
I have a couple questions for you though, sir. How did you find out about the warrant?
I crossed into Mexico last year. I flew to California, and then we were crossing into Mexico, and we crossed into Mexico fine. We were hanging out. It was me and another buddy that he's from Mexico, so he was taking me around. And when I crossed back, I got arrested. And I was like, what are you talking about? What are you arresting me for? And that's when I found out about it,
Okay, that was last year?
last year.
So then how come it took so long to get here?
I was just scared. That was my fault. I was scared. I called my attorney, and I couldn't get a hold of my attorney. And I tried to call a different attorney, and he was like, oh, no, I don't have any answers for you. You just got to come down here. And at that moment, I'm not going to lie to you, Judge. I had my business plan. I was saving up for my business. I had 2 kids that I had to take care of, and I couldn't get a straight answer on what I had to do. I didn't know if I had to come down here and I had to wait 3 months or if I had to, I didn't know what I had to do and I was scared to come down here. And it was crazy to me because I took a cruise out of Cape Canaveral in 2016. So when I looked it up and it said from 2014, I was like, how do I have a warrant from 2014? And I took a cruise in 2016 out of Cape Canaveral to the Bahamas, which is not a United States territory.
Right.
So I was like, so how didn't that pop up when I came back? And honestly, Judge, I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat it. I was just scared to put my life on pause because I had built it up to the point where I wanted it. I'm at a point where I've been trying to get to for a long time, for a very long time. And I was just scared to put it on pause.
Have you had any other arrests or cases since this 2011 case?
Mm-mm.
No? Did you complete the drug program that you entered?
I finished it. I didn't finish the whole thing. Because they wanted it 3 times and I needed to work.
I see.
I needed to, and it was more like being in that drug program drug you down even more. Like being around just all those people, it just drug you down more.
Right, but you haven't had anything since 2011? Okay.
Your Honor, the original bond was a $7,500 bond.
How much?
$7,500. Looks like it was filed by Mike Snap Bondsman on 8/18 of 2011.
For possession of cocaine?
Just reading Odyssey, what the notes say. It looks like there was a motion to suppress filed in 2012. Let me see if I can see if it was ever heard.
see that one. But Mr. Bonilla, how did you end up in Orange County? Did they come get you, were you arrested in Georgia or you turned yourself in?
No, I took a cruise. Out of Miami. And when I came back, then they picked me up. And I've been locked up for, I think it's like 7, 8 days now.
70?
7, to 8 days.
Oh, okay, so they brought you up from Miami.
Mm-hmm.
I believe the warrant was a one extradite, Militia Florida.
Yeah.
And it looks like the motion to suppress was heard in March of 2012 and denied, March 19th, 2012. That was denied. And then PTI, nothing happened until 2014.
It came in as a possession with intent to sell or deliver. That's why the bond is $7,500.
Okay.
And then they filed a possession of cocaine. What's division 19 now? Do we know? See, did you have a position or did you want to make a recommendation as to the bond amount?
If Your Honor is going to set a bond amount, we would ask for it to be doubled, $15,000. State doesn't have an objection to him
I don't have a date to give
Get a
him.
status date or something?
Yeah, can we pick a status date? I can see if I can email Jay in that division, this is the division.
19. It's Judge Jordan.
See if I can email George Jay real quick and see if I can get, this is, a status date. At least we have a record that he was told. What that date was.
Do you know what that is, Paige? Mr. Bodine, were you convicted of DUI in Georgia in 2018?
I've never been convicted. I was arrested, but I was never convicted.
Paige, does it say arrest or does it say conviction? Pardon me?
It's a DUI, but it got reduced to reckless driving. So it wasn't a conviction of DUI.
Judge.
It was reduced to a reckless driving.
Okay, so, but Mr. Bonilla, I just asked you if you'd had any other cases or any other run-ins with the law since 2011, and you told me no.
I did. I did.
All right, you're gonna have to see Judge Jordan. I'm not setting a bond, Mr. Bonilla, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome, sir. Good morning, Mr. Jenkins.
Good morning, Judge. Nice to see you.
You
First
as
time
well.
I see appear in front of
it
you
is.
since you've been taking the bench.
One of my
Um,
trial members.
I'm on. I was just appointed last week on Maria Carr. It's a 33-day motion. I usually don't come out here for these, but I had not met her, so I wanted to go over and meet her as well this morning after we had this hearing. I spoke with the state; they do not intend to file or
Okay.
make a filing decision, I should say.
We filed a,
Notice
there
of
was a
non.
non-filing this morning.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and grant the motion.
All right.
Looks like you're all set. It was good to see you.
You as well.
Thank you.
Sir, good morning. Your name? Mr. Beazer, this is 19 CF 12822. You were arrested for possession of cocaine and possession of a controlled substance. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is $1,000. Your bond on count 2 is $150. Thank you, sir. Good morning. Your name?
Good morning, Miss. I'm Davy Kane.
Mr. Kane, this is 19 CF 12791. You were arrested for burglary of a conveyance, grand theft, third degree, and criminal mischief. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is $3,500. Your bond on count 2 is $150. Your bond on count 3 is $100.
Have a nice day, Miss.
You are not to have any contact with Ryan Stump, and you are not to, well, it was in front of the public. You're just not to have any contact with Mr. Stump. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, good morning. Your name?
Hassan Covington.
Mr. Covington, this is 19 CF 11701. You were arrested for aggravated battery, great bodily harm with a weapon pursuant to a probable cause warrant. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. You're not to have any contact with Roland, Pittman, or any co-defendants in this matter, or possess any weapons or any firearms. Your bond is $5,000, sir. Thank you. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Jerry Daniels.
Mr. Daniels, this is 19 CF 12807. You were arrested for petty theft with 2 prior convictions and resisting officer without violence, as well as possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause for both of those offenses. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond on count 1 is $500. Your bond on count 2 is $100, and your bond on count 3 is $100. You cannot return to the Wawa, sir, at 5810 Raleigh Street.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Your Honor, Richard Hall refused to attend.
Okay. And that is 19 CF 12817. Mr. Hall, I'm waiving his appearance based upon his refusal to attend court. He was arrested for burglary of a conveyance, grand theft, 3rd degree. I'm appointing the public defender. His bond on count 1 is gonna be $5,000. Bond on count 2 will be $1,500. He's not to return to 320 West Grant Street, and he's not to have any contact with Cecidio Tata. Ma'am, good morning. Your name?
Shadow McCormick.
Ms. McCrimmon, you were here in 19 CF 12656. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for public order crimes, attempting to conspire to commit a 3rd degree felony, violation of the Florida Communications Fraud Act, forgery, unlawful use of a 2-way communication device, and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. You are not to have any contact with Freeman, no contact with the victim, no return to Fairwinds or to the Anscott. Your bond on count 1 is $3,500. Your bond on count 2 is $3,500. Your bond on count 3 will be $150. Your bond on count 4, $100. Your bond on count 5, $100. Ma'am, you also have a violation of probation from Palm Beach County. And it is alleged that you have failed to report to your probation as you were required to, and you had not reported as of September 9th of this year, that you're $819.07 behind in your cost of supervision, that you left the county without permission from your probation officer. It's also alleged that you violated the law by committing the new law offenses of which I just described to you, and that you have failed to make your court cost payments of $1,337 to the Palm Beach Clerk of Court, ma'am. Your bond on that matter will be set at none. And once you resolve the case here in Orange County or bond out, Palm Beach County will come and pick you up, and you'll see a judge when you get there. Good morning, your name, sir?
Yes, ma'am. It's Matthew Purley.
Mr. Purley, this is 19 CF 12813. You were arrested for driving while license revoked as a habitual offender. There's probable cause for that offense. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. I am going to release you on your own recognizance at this time, sir. Make sure that you stay in contact with your lawyer. and that you appear for your next court date, otherwise we'll issue a warrant for your arrest.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you, sir.
very much.
Mr. Purley, you cannot drive. You understand?
I understand.
Okay, thank you,
Clear.
sir.
Thank you.
Sir, good morning. Your name?
Benjamin Reddick.
Mr. Reddick, this is case number 19 CF 12823. You were arrested for possession of cannabis greater than 20 grams. There's probable cause. I am going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond is $1,000. And then in 19 M6646, I'm going to add the additional requirement that you are going to be randomly tested for drugs and alcohol through PTR, because you're currently on PTR on the battery case. So I'm gonna add that additional condition at this time.
So no drugs, no alcohol, no drugs, anything?
That's right,
Okay.
okay? And they're gonna test you. And if you test positive, you're not gonna have a bond. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you, sir. Well, I'm adding a condition. Yeah. To be released. Right here.
No.
Yes.
Yes, she was.
Good morning, sir. Your name?
Solomon, John Solomon.
Mr. Solomon, this is 19 CF 12816. You were arrested for possession of cocaine with intent to sell or deliver. There's probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you, sir. I'm gonna set your bond at $2,500. Thank you, sir. Ma'am, your name?
Tabitha Walker.
Ms. Walker, you are here in 19 CF 12824. You were arrested for driving while license suspended with knowledge. With two prior convictions. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you, and I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Sir, good morning. Your name?
Dennis Hoover.
Mr. Hoover, you are here in 19 MO 1566. You were arrested for disorderly conduct. There's probable cause. I will appoint the public defender. Was there an offer for Mr. Hoover?
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication guilty, credit time served, and he'd like to take the offer and pleads no contest.
All right. Mr. Hoover, I just need the plea form, please. Mr. Hoover, did you read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up on the form?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you are not a U.S. citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
All right, sir, I will accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You'll have to pay court costs, which are due by September 10th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing. And at this time, I'm not going to take any action on the out-on-bond case. Thank you, sir. Good morning, your name?
Brian Beasley.
Mr. Beasley, this is 19 MM 7457. You were arrested for petty theft. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond amount is $500. Mr. Beasley, you're not to return to any Home Depot store. You're not to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal substances, and you're gonna be randomly tested through the pretrial program. They're gonna let you know what you need to do to comply with that order, sir. And at this time, I'm not gonna take any action on your out-on-bond case. Sir, good morning. Your name?
Lavarius DeMonte Foster.
Mr. Foster, you are here in 19 MM 7464. Sir, you were arrested for trespass in a structure or a conveyance. There's probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Is there an offer for Mr. Foster?
Yes, Your Honor. Adjudication guilty, credit time served, no return, and my client accepts the offer and please no contest. Your
All
Honor.
right. Mr. Foster, did you read the plea form before you signed it, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you're not a U.S. citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
All right, sir, I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You will have to pay court costs, which are due by September 10th of 2020. You cannot return to any UCF property. Do you understand?
Okay.
Okay? You've been trespassed, so if you show back up, they're going to
Okay.
have you arrested, sir.
Oh, good.
Okay? You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Good morning, your name?
Marlon Harris.
Mr. Harris, this is 19 MM 7445. You were arrested for battery.
Right.
There is probable cause. I'll appoint the public defender's office to represent you. You are not to return to the Dunkin' Donuts at 486 North Orange Avenue.
Yes, I know that.
And you're not to have any contact with Marlon Harris.
Huh?
You are not to have any contact.
I am Marlon Harris. I'm the victim. I'm the victim in this case
Then why is he here?
because
So I think the scrivener's error in the police report.
Okay, yeah, because the
Name
facts don't match that.
Drolanda Hills is the victim.
Mm-hmm, it's a woman.
It's a woman, yes. So our witness form, so I think the officer put victim, I think he, so you look at the, it says the victim, but then it says, she stated a customer.
Yeah, and there's no other name.
So if you're, I can come up with the witness form, which is text ours.
Can you just tell me the name?
Yes, Drulanda, Drulondra. Drulandra
Julandra Hills? Harris.
Sorry, Hills.
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 I'm sorry for the confusion, Mr. Harris. You are not to have any contact with Ms. Hills. That's the alleged victim in this matter. Do you understand?
yes, ma'am.
All right. I'm not gonna take any action with respect to the PTD case. I don't know how this new case will affect your pretrial diversion case. You're gonna have to talk to your lawyer about that, sir. Okay?
Was the bond set at 500, Your Honor?
Yes, it is.
Thank you.
Sir, good morning. Your name?
James Irvin Moore, ma'am.
Mr. Moore, you are here in 19 MM 410. You were arrested for trespassing and resisting officer without violence. There is probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Was there an offer for Mr. Moore?
Yes, Your Honor, it was adjudication guilty, 4 days in Orange County Jail, and no return. Just
All right.
one
Mr.
moment, this, oh,
Sure, go ahead.
Your Honor, he'll accept it, and please no contest.
All right. Mr. Moore, you understand that you have been trespassed from the Smith Motel.
Yes, ma'am.
You can't go back.
I won't go back. I promise.
They're gonna call the police every time you show up there.
I get credit behind it.
Mr. Moore, did you read the plea form, sir, before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you are not a U.S. citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
All right, sir. I will accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty as to both counts, sentence you to 4 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. Those will run concurrent to one another. You will have to pay court costs, and those are due by September 10th of 2020. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court, and I already told you you can't go back to the Smith Motel.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir.
I
Thank
won't
you.
go. All right. Y'all be blessed.
Sir, good morning. Your name?
Jeremiah Birch.
Mr. Birch, you're here for an out-of-county warrant from Seminole County for petty theft. Your bond is $1,000. If you are unable, sir, to post that bond, Seminole County is going to come pick you up, and you'll see a judge when you get to first appearance.
Okay, how long do I have, Your Honor?
The admin order says 24 hours
So when do it start?
today.
Okay, so if they're not here by tomorrow,
Uh,
what happens then, Your Honor?
Hold on, just give me 1 second, Mr. Birch.
Yes, ma'am.
It looks like you might have 2 cases. You do, out of Seminole County. So the other case is for petty theft and possession of drug paraphernalia.
Okay,
The bond on each of those counts is $500. So your
Okay.
bond in total is $2,000. If they don't come get you, you'll come back and see me, and we'll see what they have done or what kind of communication has happened, and then we'll talk about it again.
okay.
All
So
right.
when would I see you again?
Maybe Thursday?
Tomorrow's Wednesday, right? So that's the 24 hours.
Right.
So I'll come back Thursday if they
If they haven't
came.
come to pick you up.
And then we'll go from there.
That's right.
Thank you.
All right. Have a nice day, sir.
All right.
Good morning, your name?
Sellers, Tony?
Mr. Sellers, you were here for an out-of-county warrant from Seminole County for burglary of a structure and petty theft. Your bond is $5,500. If you are unable to post that bond, Seminole County is going to come pick you up and you'll see a judge when you get there.
Okay.
All right, thank you. Good morning, your name?
Dayron Aguilera.
That's okay, that's all right. Okay, this is 19 MM 7057. This is defendant's motion for release on own recognizance or to reduce the bond. Say what's your position on the motion?
Mr. Aguilera. Have no objection.
Okay. Paige, do you have Mr. Aguilera's history? Has he have any failures to appear?
No failure to appear, it's just one misdemeanor conviction in the state of Florida for trespassing on August the 12th.
Okay.
He does have out-of-state convictions for trespassing, theft of property, unauthorized use of vehicle, and that last conviction was in May of 2018.
Thank you. So, Mr. Aguilera, you cannot return to the Orlando airport. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay. They have trespassed you from that property, so every time you show up there, they're gonna have you arrested. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Okay. I'm going to grant your motion. You need to stay in contact with your lawyer. That way you know when your next court date is. All right? Mr. Aguilar, are you listening?
Yes,
Okay.
Your Honor.
If you fail to appear for court, they're gonna issue a warrant for your arrest. And you're not gonna get a bond.
Okay, I understand.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Your name?
Cruzita Sanchez.
Ms. Sanchez, this is 19 MM 6967. This is defendant's motion for release on own recognizance or in the alternative to continue the finding of incompetence and placing the defendant on conditional release. And state what's your position.
We would object to the ROR based on the number of failures to appear she has.
Okay, how many would that be?
I believe.
Just one.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Just one, yeah.
I apologize. I said 17.
No.
I was sorry.
One FTA and
One FTA?
April of 2019.
Okay.
I wrote the F as 7.
So, Mr. Shaw, I'm gonna tell you, my issue with this motion. So, and I know that you didn't write the motion, so I'm just trying to help you help your colleagues. And
Yes, Your
maybe, because you're the one that has to come to court and argue the motion. But within the body of the motion, it doesn't give me enough information to really make a decision about the case, about ROR, because based upon the competency issue, I'm going to deny the motion. The evaluation that's referenced in the motion was from 2017.
Your Honor, if I may,
And the last order where she was found incompetent was dated April 20th of 2018.
if I may, there was a more recent order on May 1st, 2019.
I'm familiar with that, but that order relies upon this order from 2018, and she's never been reevaluated. And I don't have the evaluations to know what the prognosis was, to know what the basis of the incompetency was. I just don't have any information. So I would not find someone incompetent based on any of those facts.
And just for the record, Your Honor, the Public Defender's Office has taken the approach that Alexander holds, that since she was never deemed competent, okay, since she was never deemed competent, so for the purposes of where we're at today for the bond, she needs to be released on, because she's still incompetent by the court. The court has never deemed her to be competent. So we're just taking the approach of Alexander and then Criminal Procedure Code, and I believe it's 312. I apologize, it's in that.
No, I
motion.
understand, and Mr. Shaw, I understand what the public defender's position is. I don't think that's what the law says. The law
Okay.
requires her to be found incompetent in each matter, in each case.
My question is, from the public defender stance, this is, although when I asked you, Mr. Shaw, it really is more of a hype in the atmosphere, because it's not defiling it, is that if the court is telling us that the motion doesn't have the doctor's evaluation to know if she's restorable or not, because if she's restorable, then that's very different than her being permanently incompetent and never being able to be restored. And your position is we'll continue to file the motions as is, then is that not just doing a service to the client by them always being denied and them never being released because of, and your office choosing to not then appeal the court's decision in any of these cases that come in 3 times a week? You kind of understand the problem is, I understand the case law that you're arguing. Obviously, I have a different opinion. The court has a different opinion. And if your office is not going to then take the next step, which would be, if you don't agree with the judge's opinion or the state's opinion, appeal to the judge, then isn't that a disservice? Because if I object to the ROR, the judge denies it, and then the competency the judge denies as well, then the defendant sits here and no bond on a reason why they couldn't get a bond.
And I understand the state's position, I do, and if I may just ask another point, Your Honor. On that approach, what is the decision by denying it? Is the court taking the position that Alexander does not hold? What's the position? How's the court taking the direction?
Correct. I don't believe that that's what that case stands for, the proposition
Okay.
that case stands for. But moving forward with these types of motions, certainly I would never tell you what kind of motion or what motion you should file.
Yes,
But
ma'am.
even if you're asking me for release on her own recognizance, the information that's contained in this motion does not provide me with the information that I need to make that decision.
Okay, yeah.
So the things that I would want to know in this type of motion, and I don't think that you shouldn't put in the stuff about the other incompetency cases as support for your motion. It's certainly relevant and it should be considered. But I think what we need to know is, it doesn't tell me what she's charged with, what the other cases that she's on conditional release for, what those charges are. It doesn't tell me the date of the last evaluations, what the prognosis is, what her failures to appear, if you guys know that information, or it doesn't tell me where she's gonna live. There's not even a conditional release plan, and Mr. Schwell, please, this is not directed toward you, because I know that you didn't file the motion, but you're the one that has to come to court.
Yes, Your Honor.
But the conditional release, or the order that's provided to me, doesn't give me any conditions on which to place her. Like, where's she gonna live, what she's supposed to be doing, what about medication, what about substances, any of that stuff. So I just can't grant the motion
I
on these facts.
And just one other point, Your Honor. To your point, I did look it up, and she's here on, if I'm not mistaken, a drug possession of drug paraphernalia, and she's been here since August 20th. So I'm just bringing that attention to the court that she's been here from my
The
count.
problem is the state has not made a charging decision at this point, so you can't resolve it. And my guess, I don't know what happened, I don't remember what happened to IA to know what that is. I think the best approach at this point would be to contact the ASA assigned to that case, I can tell you who it is, to see if they are close to making a decision. If they are, they can file it and then set it for an immediate plea. I just don't have that information.
I would appreciate that, thank you.
Right, I mean, if you wanna file another motion and have that motion heard with all of the relevant information, or put together a plan of, look at the other conditional release orders that were entered and see what it is that she's supposed to be doing, and set it for an ROR motion with that type of order attached, certainly be happy to take a look at that and hear it, and it sounds like it might be appropriate. But based upon this information, I'm denying the motion.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you, Your Honor. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Okay. All right, and then who do we have here?
William Lewis Johnson.
Mr. Johnson. Are you here for a plea, Mr. Johnson?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And it's my understanding that the agreed upon disposition is a withhold of adjudication, court costs, and is it time served?
Yes, $220 court costs, $10 filing fee, and took care of time served.
All right, and looks like he has 18 days, Jenny, is that right? Okay. Mr. Johnson, did you read the plea form, sir, before you signed it?
Yes, I did.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you are not a U.S. citizen that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
All right, sir, I will accept your plea, withhold adjudication, sentence you to 18 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 18 days time served. You do have to pay court costs, which includes a $10 filing fee. Those are due by September 20th of 2020, and you have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank-
Do you need any of this back? Do you need any of this back? How about- This is a 33, I'm not sure. And State, you just let me know whenever you're ready on the 33-day.
Stay ready.
Okay. I think Jill sent out the paperwork to both of you. It's 19MM6549. I received a letter from corrections. I had granted a motion for ROR for this defendant, and he was to do random urinalysis through PTR. Did you have an opportunity to read the letter, Mr. Scholl?
I read it, Your Honor.
Okay, so what I want to do with that is, I don't know if this information is correct or not, but your office is appointed.
Okay.
So what I would like to do would be to give you all 48 hours to get in contact with Mr. Kirschner. And if you are able to verify that and let me know, then I can remove that condition. If he actually is in treatment, I would
Oh.
remove that condition. But if you're not able to contact him or verify that, then I would issue capias for his arrest, because one of the conditions was that he was to maintain contact with his attorney.
And that's sufficient for us to let you know what the information that received, or do you want some further proof?
I'm
Documentation?
okay if the attorney tells me that they've spoken to their client and this is where he is. I
Okay.
absolutely will take that. But I'll give you 48 hours to do that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay?
You said first Saturday, Friday, so.
Friday morning?
Friday morning.
Okay. Can we do that, please? All right. Here's the. All right. Good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Juwan Bolden.
Mr. Bolden, you're here in 19 CF 2094. You are here for a violation of probation. It is alleged that you violated your probation by not reporting to probation as directed. You also failed to permit your probation officer to visit you at home. And you failed to follow the instructions of the court and report to your probation office on June 19th. On that warrant, your bond is set at $2,500. You have 19 CF 12833. You were arrested for aggravated battery with a weapon. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender in all of your cases. You're not to have any contact with Ulysses Brown, and you're not to possess any weapons or any firearms. Your bond is $5,000. You have 19 CF 12832. You were arrested for aggravated assault with a weapon. There is probable cause for that offense. Your bond is $2,500, and you're not to have any contact with Demetrius Kennard. You're also not to possess any weapons or any firearms. He does have the 5-day hold, correct, for probation to come in and file the amended affidavit? Okay, all right. Thank you, Mr. Bolden. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Good afternoon. My name is Christopher Garcia. Lee.
Mr. Garcia, you're here in 19 CF 12827. You were arrested for trespass after warning in a conveyance and burglary of a conveyance. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender. You're not to return to the Walmart at 2500 South Kirkman Boulevard.
Yes, ma'am.
Then you're not to have any contact with Bobby Petro.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir. Your bond on count 1 is going to be $100, and your bond on count 2 is $3,500. Thank you.
Rasheed Harris refused to attend, Your Honor.
All right. I'm going to find a waiver of Mr. Harris's appearance based upon his refusal to come to court. He has 19 CT 6013. He failed to appear for arraignment. His bond in that matter is $2,000. I'm revoking the bond in 19 CF 11581. That will be set at none. He has 19 CF 12367. He was arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for grand theft 3rd degree of a motor vehicle. His bond in that matter is $500. He's not to have any contact with Ruben Paulino Hernandez. Thank you. He also has 19 CT 6631, where he was arrested for driving while license suspended. There's probable cause for that offense. His bond is $500. And he also has 19 CF 12826. He was arrested for grand theft 3rd degree of a motor vehicle, possession of cocaine, possession of drug paraphernalia, and attempted dealing in stolen property. There's probable cause for all of those offenses. I'll appoint the public defender for all of his cases. Bond on count 1 is $1,000. Bond on count 2 is $150. Bond on count 3 is $150. Bond on count 4 is $150. Pardon? Is it 100? So 150, 100, 100. All right, good afternoon. Tell me your name.
Jeter. Jeter, ma'am.
Excuse me?
Jeter. Martinez. Jeter Martinez.
Mr. Martinez, okay. You were here in 19 CF 12831. You were arrested for trespass on a designated construction site and burglary of a structure. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Mr. Scholl, you had a probable cause challenge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Specifically on the burglary of a structure, nowhere in the affidavit does it say intent to make an offense of burglary. I see in here, and I'm not discussing about the trespass, I see specifically probable cause for the trespass, but nowhere do I see the intent for the offense of burglary on here. If If we look at the witnesses in their phone call, they see them in the building, and from that standpoint, the police officers arrive, and at that point, the police officers arrest certain individuals. And then that's the end of the affidavit.
Okay.
Thank you,
State?
Your Honor.
Your Honor, I believe the manner, the time, how they get onto the property, I think all plays a part into whether or not they stealthily enter to show the intent to commit a crime area. Your Honor, I believe the police report is at 11:01 at night in the evening in a closed construction site where they have good fencing around, is my understanding. They're on the scene on the 4th floor. The witnesses start noticing it, and they start calling, responding to these witnesses that are there. I think based on the time, being on the 4th floor, it being a number of individuals, I think that's enough to include the crime area.
Yeah, I don't think that there is enough there for the burglar of the structure. They weren't searched and found anything instant to arrest, or they didn't make any statements. There was nothing damaged. So I find that there is no PC for count 2. I do find probable cause for count 1. Mr. Martinez, I'm gonna place you on pretrial release at this time. Okay? Thank you.
Your Honor, we'd ask for no contact with, no return to the construction site, no contact with his co-defendants, the 3 other young men that were present.
All right. Mr. Martinez, do you understand you can't have any contact with your co-defendants and you can't return to the construction site?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you, sir. Good afternoon, tell me your name, please.
Good afternoon. My name is Axel Mir Ortiz.
Mr. Ortiz, you are here in 19 CF 12829. You were arrested for trespass on a designated construction site and burglary of a conveyance. I'll appoint the public defender to represent you. Mr. Scholder, you have the same probable cause challenge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so I will find probable cause as to count 1. I will find no PC or probable cause as to count 2. You'll be released on your own recognizance as to that count. Your bond on count 1 is $1,000. Mr. Ortiz, you're not to have any contact with your co-defendants, and you're not to return to the construction site. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
You have a blessed day. Thank you.
Ma'am, good afternoon. Your name?
Samika Plummer.
Ms. Plummer, you are here in 19 CF 12834. You were arrested for trafficking in MDMA, greater than 10 grams, less than 200, 2 counts, possession of cannabis, less than 20 grams, and possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause, ma'am, for all of those offenses. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Ma'am, I'm gonna set your bond on count 1 at $10,000. Count 2, I'm going to set at $1,500. Count 3, I'm gonna ROR you, and count 4, I'm gonna ROR you. I'm also gonna place you on pretrial release. You're gonna report in person every week, and you're gonna have random urinalysis. All right? Thank you, ma'am. Sir, good afternoon. Your name?
My name is Chris Gunmaker, Your Honor.
Pardon me?
Chris Gunmaker.
Ms. Goodman? What about Mr. Rager?
Mr. Rager is mental health, Your Honor.
All right, we'll reset Mr. Rager. And you're Mr. Schoonmaker?
Yes.
Sir, you were here in 19 CF 8097. You were arrested pursuant to a probable cause warrant for failing to report an email or instant messenger name.
Yes.
There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond in that matter is going to be $2,500. What's the status of the out on bond case date? It's a May arrest. They've not made a charging decision?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, I'm not gonna take any action at this time on the out on bond case, sir. All right,
I appreciate
you have reporting requirements when you are released from the jail, do you understand?
it. Yes, I do.
Okay, all right, sir, thank you. Pardon me? 2,500? Sir, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Your
ma'am.
name, please?
Jorge Valverde, ma'am.
So you're here in 19 CF 12830. You were arrested for trespass on a designated construction site and burglary of a structure. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Based on previous arguments by counsel, I'm going to find that there is not probable cause as to count 2. You will be ROR'd as to that count. I am going to place you on pretrial release at this time. There's probable cause for count 1.
Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
Are you here for him, ma'am? Okay. Do you have any questions? Okay, thank you.
We ask for no contact with the co-defendant and no return.
Yes, thank you, State. Sir, you are not to have any contact with your co-defendants, and you're not to return to the construction site.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon, your name?
Good afternoon, Devin Wenzel.
Mr. Wenzel, you're here in 19 CF 12825. You were arrested for possession of a Lazapram, possession of a firearm, and the commission of a felony, and possession of cannabis less than 20 grams. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender, and I'm going to place you on pretrial release at this time.
Thank you,
All
ma'am.
right, thank you, sir. Sir, good afternoon. Your name?
Jamal Bailey.
Mr. Bailey, you are here in 19 CT 6637. You were arrested for driving while license suspended. There's probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond is $500. I looked up the out on bond form and that case is closed. Or I'm sorry, there's a capias. Okay, so. Okay, so just take no action on that? Okay, take no action, sir. It seems that the capias was served on you for the possession of cannabis and possession of drug paraphernalia case. All right, thank you. Thank you, Jenny. Good afternoon, sir. Your name?
Gilmer Medina.
Mr. Medina, this is 19 CT 6641. You were arrested for driving while license suspended. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint, you didn't fill out the form, sir. Do you want to hire a lawyer or do you want to see if you qualify for the public defender?
See if I qualify for a public
All
defender.
right, are you working?
Yes, ma'am.
And how much money do you make every 2 weeks after taxes?
About 600.
Okay. And do you have any children or family members that you take care of?
No, ma'am.
No, 600 a week. Do you qualify? Every 2 weeks, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, every 2 weeks. Okay. All right, so I will appoint the public defender based upon your testimony. Your bond is $500. Thank you.
Your Honor?
Yes.
If I may ask, his out of county, Seminole County, is he going to be held on that for 24 hours?
It looks like there's a bond.
There is a bond? Okay.
Yeah, so you'd have to pay both.
He has to pay both. What's the amount for that bond? 5,000 for that one?
Thanks, Jenny.
Joanne Stevenson, bonding runner.
All right.
Tyler Farmer is mental health.
All right, we'll reset Mr. Farmer.
John King is medical.
Okay. We will reset Mr. King for 24 hours once he's medically cleared. Ma'am, good afternoon. Your name?
Shanita Lee.
Ma'am, this is 19MM 7467. You were arrested for battery.
Yes, ma'am.
There's probable cause. I will appoint the public defender to represent you.
Yes, ma'am.
You are not to have any contact with Demetric Michelle Thomas. You're not to possess any weapons or
Yes,
any
ma'am.
firearms. You can't go back to the laundromat at 3113 West Colonial Drive.
Yes, ma'am.
Your bond is going to be $500, and I'm not going to revoke your bond on your out on bond case.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Ma'am, good afternoon. Your name?
Hello, Cecilia Washington. How are you?
Good, ma'am. Thank you. What about Events Tyrone?
He bonded your.
Okay. And Ms. Washington, you are here in 19 MM 7466. You were arrested for providing false ID to law enforcement. There is probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Your bond is $500.
And I also have a warrant from another county.
That's right, you have a hold for Manatee County,
Yes.
ma'am. So it looks like if you pay the bond here, then Manatee County will come and pick you up.
Okay, if I don't pay the bond here because I can't get out, I'm just ready to go resolve the matter over there in Manatee County.
Right.
So what do I have to do for here?
Well, you kind of have to let the case play through. So if you entered a plea today on this case, then it would likely violate your probation
I'm already
in
violated.
Manatee.
And I'd rather to just get this over with here and go over there and face what I have to face. I'm
Understand.
ready.
Okay, so knowing that this is gonna violate your probation, you wanna enter a plea?
Yes, ma'am, because I'm already violated now, and that's where I'm from. I've been here from prison, and I've been living here. I work, at 7-Eleven. I've been working for 3 years, and I was doing pretty good. I just had a warrant, and I was scared to take care of it, and someone told on me last night at work. So,
Yeah.
I thank God that I don't have to run no more. I can get it over with. And I'm just ready to plea out on this for giving the fake ID and go to Manatee and get my life started over.
All right, just sign the plea form.
Thank you.
You're welcome, ma'am. Did you read the plea form, Ms. Washington, before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am, I'm familiar with them.
Okay. Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up? No?
No,
Ma'am, you have
ma'am.
to just answer me, thank you.
No, ma'am.
All right, and we just talked about the fact that you are on probation, correct?
Mhm.
And you understand that this will violate your probation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you understand if you are not a U.S. citizen, that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'll accept your plea. I'm going to adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 2 days' time served. You're gonna have to pay court costs. Those are due by September 10th of 2020. And you have
Okay.
30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing.
Yes, ma'am. And
Right.
what if I'm still, because I may go back to prison
Okay.
with my charges I have up there.
Sure.
So how would that work by 2020? I don't,
So I would write a letter to the clerk of the court
yes,
and
ma'am.
let them know that you are incarcerated
Yes, ma'am.
and that you're unable to pay, and they'll be able to help you out with that.
Thank you so
All right.
much.
You're welcome, ma'am. Good luck.
You-
Bless you.
Thank you.
Jose Aurelio Gonzalez is in hospital now.
All right, we'll reset. He didn't have a bond, so I'll reset his case. Talk to him.
David Frederico bonded.
All right. Sir, good afternoon. Tell me your name.
How you doing, Your Honor? My name is Kadeem Vaughn, right?
Mr. Wright, you are here in 19 MO 1567. You were arrested for open container. There's probable cause. I'm going to appoint the public defender to represent you. Was there an offer for Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor, the state offered 3 days county jail.
Okay. All right, so he's got one more day.
Is it one more day he would have left?
All right. You want to accept the offer, Mr. Wright?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Please, no contest. Thank you, Your Honor.
Sure. Mr. Wright, did you sign the plea form, sir? Read the plea form before you signed it?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any questions about any of the rights that you're giving up?
No, ma'am.
Are you on probation?
No, ma'am.
Do you understand if you are not a U.S. citizen, that this plea will subject you to deportation?
Yes, ma'am.
Have you taken any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would affect your ability to understand what's happening in court today?
I'm on my medication, but no, ma'am.
Okay, helps you
Yeah.
understand better?
Yeah,
What, you
see
feel
you
clear?
over about the car. Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any other questions, Mr. Wright, about anything that's happening in court today?
No.
You're good?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I'm going to accept your plea, adjudicate you guilty, sentence you to 3 days in the Orange County Jail. You have credit for 1 day time served. You will have to pay court costs. Those are due by September 10th of 2020. You have 30 days to appeal the judgment and sentence of the court in writing, and I'm not going to revoke your bond on the out on bond case. All right? Thank you, sir. State, did you